Well, you didn't even give the 2 this time. Usually you give the 2.
I definitely gave the 2. 3.
No, but you didn't say 2.
Oh, you want me to say 2? All right, all right.
I mean,
It's 3,
usually just
2. Got it.
If we could have little place cards that you drop, with a countdown, that'd be most helpful.
You think
the
Digital clock
the
for the
Wile E.
merch.
Coyote place cards.
Exactly. That's what we need. And we get
Alright.
that.
You know what? I'll work on it. I was thinking about like something that show up on your screen. Kind of like the start of a movie where 3 and like you can see the thing
Yeah.
going around. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah. I just can't figure out how to do it through Discord, but we'll see.
Mm.
We'll see.
So I don't know. This group might need a little bit something more. You might need like electric bracelets or something that link by Bluetooth. Gives us a little shock when we go live, just to really make sure it hits home.
That sounds like a really cool idea. I don't know how I would activate it from my house though.
We're gonna work on this. If anybody out there has any idea, let us know.
Well, I mean, they have how can I put this? They have
Don't you go there, Eric.
They have sexual
He's
devices
going
like
there.
that. Yeah, just point it out there. Point it out there.
This is a
we
PG
are
stream.
not using that to indicate when we go live.
No, the fuck it's not.
I mean, you know what? Sometimes you just got to be adventurous.
No weed vibes. Okay. Party poopers.
Yeah, but I think you still activate it. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like, I donate, but you activate it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have control of it.
Yeah, I think you do. I think it registers your movement.
Yeah.
And when we feel the equivalency.
All right. Change the subject.
Welcome, everybody. You wanted to take that one step further and understand the details of it. There it is.
We have officially gone off the rails.
Yeah,
we're not even 5 minutes in, and we're off the rails.
Starting off that way. This is gonna be a good one.
We'll edit it out. Don't worry about it. We'll edit it out. It's okay.
We're all right.
That's what I'm gonna start saying about Evan. We'll just edit it out. It's okay. Just he's not gonna know. He's still gonna do it. All right, welcome everybody to Echo Chamber. This is the session in which we talk about previous week's sessions and D&D in general. I think it's kind of evolved into like our thought process and different things that we like to talk to about D&D. So we'll get started. Last week we did not have a session, so we kind of piggybacking this. That's why this one's part 2. The previous session is with the session which we finally finished off. Help me out. What were they? The Onis, right?
Onis, yeah.
The Onis, yeah.
The Onis, and found the honeypot. We found out that Adrin got a little release of his anger, and then decided he was going to come back with some wrapped fists.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. So I thought we.
Can I just say I was a little slow on the uptick with Adrin coming back with a wrap fist. I did not immediately get that meant monk. I thought it was some Christian reference or something. Religious. Nice. I could not figure it out for the life of me for a few minutes, and then someone finally mentioned some monkish trait, and that's when I figured it out. But I'm not gonna lie, I was behind the 8 ball.
You know, it was subtle. I'll give Eric that. It was definitely subtle.
It's beautiful.
And I think if I hadn't already had knowledge, and I think it's the same for Rusty, of a monk, that I probably wouldn't have got it either.
I appreciate the subtleness of it. That was an excellent reference. I was just a bit deaf that night and didn't put it together. So if anyone goes back and watches the stream and I look very confused for those few minutes after you come back with wrapped hands, that would be the reason.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either. I was a little focused on the actual role play. So I feel like we should also mention some of the role playing that we have started outside of the game, and I think this is a good platform to do it. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I know I started the campfire chat in our Discord. That's the piece of the text Discord in which that we can talk about like the things that our characters would talk about. So speaking in character. That we would do the role playing around the campfire or at dinner, breakfast, that type of stuff. So it's outside of the session. Nothing major, I don't think. If there's something major, I think we should kind of talk about it at the beginning of the session. But just wanted to mention it here. And you know what? I am excited because Rusty, I'm gonna call you out. Like you were like all about those maneuvers and all about the role playing in the Discord chat. I loved it. And then to see on top of that Ashley jump in there to tell Griswold she had his back, I was like, that's more than Ashley said in 4 sessions. So Rusty, do you prefer the text role playing as opposed to the verbal? I'm just curious how that works for you. I think it's dynamic. It's like it's apples and oranges to me. But what do you think?
So I think that the that's where I think that role play might be a little bit of where virtual sessions break down a skosh. Just because, like, if you're all sitting around a table, it's really easy to see that, Carl looks like he's about to say something.
Yeah.
It's not quite as easy over Discord. So
you make a great point there, Rusty. I would agree. That's certainly that chemistry is difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's easier to get a word in edgewise over text or sitting around a table than it is chatting virtually.
All right. I'll give you that. I hadn't really put too much thought to that, but I guess that makes sense that, you're just trying not to talk over people, and some people just butt their way in, and some people kind of wait and don't get hurt, I guess. Not naming any names, all right, Griswold. No, actually, Griswold's been doing really well about just kind of hanging back, and I thought it was like part of his character. I think I mentioned this at some point that he's just I couldn't tell if it's like a frustration character-wise or what was going on with it, but he's definitely taken a backseat to Warwick, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Warwick has definitely stepped up and said, "Listen, I'm the most charismatic one here. Let me do the talking."
He is definitely our face man.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
My charisma's pretty low. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. I mean, the only thing worse than mine is my strength, I think. My intelligence isn't too great either.
So to piggyback off of the idea of role playing out of game and not being around the table and stuff, do you feel, Rusty, that playing at a table, your decisions on what you will and won't do are different from virtual?
Yeah, I think probably, just because there's, when you're sitting around a table, I mean, so just to back up, like, there's certainly something to be said about playing virtually. I mean, sessions can definitely go longer. We can definitely get done when we're virtual. Like if we're all playing at Evans, we've got an hour and 10-minute drive home, whatever. So it's a little bit sensitive. Okay, we got to wrap it up because I got to go home. Blah blah blah. But I definitely think that when you're all sitting around a table, you've got a room to read. So you can maybe pick up on people's thought process just based on body language and whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of having everything sort of face value for what they.
Yeah.
Like Carl, for instance, you've got the absolute worst fucking poker face in the world.
Oh yeah.
You just pretend shooting.
I did not realize that I wore my heart on my sleeve like that virtually. So good to know. I feel like in person I have a better poker face. So
You still have a tell. You still get that little smirk. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Probably not the worst. I mean, we play with Evan.
I mean, yeah, that's true. What about you, Eric? Do you feel that decisions are made quicker in person than virtual?
Boy, that's a tough question. I don't know. I think sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't.
I feel like, and I'm gonna throw it
Yeah.
out there, like you have more tools at your disposal virtually,
Mhm.
and it's all like right
Yeah.
there, and you can do the
Yeah.
measurement and everything, and you're like, so decision wise, I feel like you have more like ability, and so it does take you a little longer. Whereas if you're there, you're in the moment, you're like, well, is it close? I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't. I guess it probably does. It probably does speed up a little bit, uh, and change your thought process a little bit. So yeah, I guess it probably is a difference. Thinking about it. Yeah.
All right. Piggyback off of that as well. I heard this recently, and I wanted thoughts of everybody on it. And I'm not saying we need to implement it. Please don't take it that way. But I was watching Twitch. I think it was Robert, Captain Robert. If you've never watched him, he's pretty cool. But something he did that I'm pretty sure it was him that I thought was interesting was if you take too long on a turn, he will give monsters or the enemy opportunity attacks.
That's
I was like,
Yeah.
interesting.
huh, I never would
So
have thought of that. I thought it was pretty crazy.
I did just read something very similar on Reddit. Uh, there was a limit set per turn decision had to be made, and or some consequence, whether you go to disadvantage, whether there was opportunity attack, or
Does he sound auto-tuned for anybody else?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're auto tuning all over the place there, G-Money. Still there?
Try reset, and I'll come back to it. You guys go answer.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
I'm
Rusty,
gonna reset. You can hear me.
we'll flip it over to you. What do you think about an opportunity attack if someone is taking too long on their turn? Or I have heard this one before. Just to complete, you lose your turn.
Yeah, and I've read about like shot clock.
Yeah, the shock. Yeah, little timers.
Hey, you've got 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. Make a decision. Then, and there's of course some DM discretion. Something really big just during the battle where it's like, holy fuck, whatever plan I just had is completely out the window. Maybe I'm going to take a little bit longer. But yeah, no, I think I like that idea.
I feel like that discretion has to do with who the character is as well, because a wizard's got a lot more to look at than a fighter. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's just another thing
True.
to take into account.
Part of it is like, okay, so, we've got, oh God, how many player characters?
7.
7.
Yeah.
So okay, we're any given encounter, like there's a uh bare minimum of two enemies turn order as well. And so, okay, you've got 8 turns to figure out what you're doing. I mean, I guess 8 turns plus, okay, throw Fluffy into the mix and whatever.
It's true.
Where like that should be plenty of time to figure out, all right, this is what I want to do, this is what I need.
Yeah, I mean, you do because of so many turns, but like you said, like there has to be some sort of discretion. Like if somebody just did something that completely botched your plan, now you've got 20 seconds to rebuild the entire plan.
Right.
Maybe give a little bit more leniency when that fireball hits, you know?
Right.
Plus, there's spells. I think sometimes you're trying to read up on spells. I mean, yeah, I try to make sure I have the general idea of what the spell does and everything, but sometimes.
Whoop.
I think we lost Eric. Since we lost Eric,
Weird.
let's flip it over to Garrett.
Can you hear me now? Am I any better?
Yep, we can hear you, and it sounded like Eric was coming back in. So.
Yep. Go ahead. I'll let Eric finish. I just want to check.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say
where I was.
I had read something very similar previously on Reddit. I can't recall from who or where it was, but they were setting a 60 to 90 second limit per turn, which I thought was fairly reasonable. Like you said, Rusty, you made a good point that you do have 8 turns to do it, 60 to 90 seconds to adjust, give or take. And if you didn't, it was like a crit fail. That there was either disadvantage or prone or opportunity attack, or there was some form of penalty. Not necessarily always the same thing, but a decision to be made.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
That is, yeah. So it doesn't have to be just an opportunity attack. It could be, depending on situation, you can kind of be flexible. I do like that, but I feel like 60 seconds is a long time when you break it down. Like you think about
Yeah.
sitting at a stoplight for 60 seconds, that feels like an eternity. So I can only
Yeah.
imagine, some of those fighters like Reed, Amrook, even Griswold to an extent, like 60 seconds is a long time.
Maybe, but I also feel like there's more than, say, 10 or 12 minutes between turns right now sometimes, which means 8-player characters plus 4 enemies. You should be going every 12 minutes. I feel like that's not always the case. Sometimes seems longer. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and do a little time study here on how much time each turn is currently taking, time between for full rounds to occur, and do a little analysis and see where we're at now.
For
And we can take a look
sure.
at perhaps an implementation system.
We need like an intern or a super fan to sit there with a stopwatch and record
You
how
do.
long each person takes in turn, and then we can check it out.
Yeah, that'd be great. I need an intern for that.
For sure, I like that idea. Um, okay, and
I'll
then
file that one away, though. We'll think about it. I'm glad you brought it up.
nothing we have to do. It was just interesting, and I like to bring stuff like that to the table, so we can kind of bounce it off. And you never know what's going to sprout out of those ideas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Another
and I'm glad you did because time between turns is
time between turns
just try to
is,
adjust battle for it. So
yeah. I mean, it's situational, like Rusty said. I think. Um, we may have lost both of them now. I'm not sure, Rusty, but
my
we're gonna
gosh,
keep going. We are gonna
There
keep
is.
going.
power
Oh,
through.
he's moving again. He's moving again.
He's not moving on my screen, so I'm hoping he's coming back soon. I'm gonna blame his Wi-Fi. Oh, I just saw him move.
I was
He
to say he's
moved.
moving. He's
It's
moving in stop motion.
it's like one of those games like Five Nights at Freddy where you're watching the screen just to see for movement. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna report
Yeah.
ghost activity. Um, yeah, for sure. Definitely something you have to like just kind of take as discretion, and sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's one of those things where you try and just throw out the window. Another thing that I recently saw, it wasn't Captain Robert, I forget who it was, but they were talking about, I think it was actually Dungeon Dudes. If you haven't watched their YouTube channel, they were really good. But they were talking about critical hits. So for our campaign, we double the dice, so we double the roll. Something that they do is a max damage plus another roll. So you're guaranteed at least that. So if your attack is a D8,
Right.
you would automatically get that 8, but then you'd roll the D8 for the additional part of it. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know that I'd like it because then it feels weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we've always done it the other way, but it was interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, that's not bad. Now that might add some time with the second roll. So we're kind of going the opposite direction of the previous conversation, but I like the idea of it, and I would certainly be up for that concept in the
Wait,
future at some time to
wait,
explore.
you don't do two rolls. You still only do one roll. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah, auto
yeah,
crit and then roll. Okay,
yeah.
that
So
makes sense.
I got a nat 20. It's a D8 damage. Let me roll a D8, and you add it on to the 8. So, Eric, have you ever done anything like that in any of your campaigns?
All right, I caught bits and pieces of it because I don't understand this. Like, my
Oh,
network is fine all day long. It goes to shit. Anyway, you were talking about adding an extra die.
Yeah. So I was talking about the dudes had
Come
said
on.
about it, and it's uh-oh, he can't hear me. He can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. But now you probably can't because it was like a weird thing where they like don't
Yeah.
want us to hear each
I'm
other.
going in and out. What the frick?
uh, what about you, Rusty? What do you think about that? Like, how do you think that would change the dynamic of playing in general for us? Do you think it
All
would
right,
at
let's see if
all?
this is any better.
my
Rusty, are you messing with me? Did you cut out? Or are you messing with me?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can definitely hear you. I thought you were messing with me though. I could see
Oh,
you.
no. Eric was doing a mic check, so I quieted down. Are you talking like just on crits? So
Yeah, just nat 20s. Well, I guess it would be 19 for some feats and stuff, but yeah,
right.
just crits.
Um, that's a good question because I mean, you know, I definitely think it would make a critical hit feel a little bit more critical, for lack of a better word. Um, instead of just like, oh, okay, I rolled a 4 and now I'm doing 8. It's okay. I fucking smoke him. Roll another one. Could do full, 16 points of damage, or could just be 9 points. But um, I don't know. I think having that little bit of extra whatever for your luck might be a thing.
Right, because you're guaranteed that 9 as opposed to if you roll and it's the worst feeling for a nat 20, you rolled a 1 for damage. You know what I mean? Then you're just
Yeah,
oh, it was a critical, but it's 2 damage.
yeah, exactly.
And
It
and
makes
that's
the critical feel more critical.
and that's their reasoning behind it is because like on a critical it really shouldn't. Otherwise, it's not really a critical, but I mean, I'm good with either way. I was just curious because it's interesting to hear these different like variations and stuff like that. But Eric, you look like you're back. You
I
started to
think
tell us about anything you've done like that with other parties, and then go.
so. I don't know if it's the same kind of thing, but in the old Star Wars role playing game, um, so it was all based on D6 dice, and you had what was called a whoopee die, and anytime you had a critical, you got to roll an extra D6. So kind of like that. Yeah, yeah,
All right. Yeah. No, that's similar, but
yeah.
I think there's still a little bit more luck there because you're still rolling the whoopee die, not taking the max of, right?
Right, right. Yeah, you were just adding on to the. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So just interesting to hear
yeah.
the
Different,
ways
different take.
the rules. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, subtle things can have such a difference.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so we're gonna get to magic item of the week here in a sec. I want to ask one more question, and I'll open it up to you guys see if you guys have anything. Uh, so I noticed something in our last session and in our campfire chat. Sometimes people switch between first and third person as they're like in game.
Yeah.
And so I started to watch other streams and stuff to see if other people do it. And I assume it's common, but like for the past 2 weeks, I have not been able to find any other stream that switches. They like stay in first person. And I don't know if it's
Hmm.
just us or.
I think it. I think it depends. Like if I'm describing something that Adrian's doing, I'm saying he's doing this or he's doing that. Just to kind of give a visual aspect, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I catch myself going back and forth.
For sure, I do too, and so I was just curious, like what you guys thought. What do you think, Rusty? Do you catch yourself at all going between first and third?
I try to keep it in first person. Um, just
Yeah,
basically, you know,
thinking thinking about it, I think Rusty's pretty consistent about first person.
I just always kind of treat it as okay, I am this character rather than
Mm-hmm.
I try to blur the line between player and character.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And we can't really ask the DM here because he's switching between 8 people. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it how it applies, and sometimes I intentionally go first or third, just to better describe what he's doing versus what I intend to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit tougher for me, but I I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a detriment in any way. I don't know if it takes away anything.
No, I don't think so either. It was just a
Just
notice, I
interesting
guess.
observation.
Yeah. I would say it's more of a flavor of anything.
Yeah, for sure. Flavor is a good word for it. And with that, do you guys have any questions or anything to add? Anything from the campfire chat or just general session stuff?
No, I think I think.
Any superhero updates? I know that we dropped that on Evan that he was Drax. He didn't
You know
look
what?
happy about it. I
You know
thought
the
it was
other one.
dead on.
The other one he could be, and it actually kind of is more in line with like his race is Korg.
I like
see
the Drax
that.
too much. I like the Drax too much.
Yeah, I know. I like the Drax. I do too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yep.
Korg's just kind of
G Money. You know who Korg is, right? G Money.
I believe so.
He's the big
In
dopey asshole from Thor Ragnarok.
yeah, in Thor Ragnarok, the
Yeah,
Hey, man,
okay. That's who I was thinking.
You want to
I
come
just
with
wanted to
us?
be sure.
it's oh my god Wakia to oh my god, I can never say his name.
What?
Waki
Oh my god!
Wakia.
Now I'm confusing his first and his last name.
I know, that's me too. Takia.
Taika Waititi.
Thank you, Taika. Jeez, oh
I
man.
definitely Googled it though, so.
Yeah. Which I'm a huge fan of Taika, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
What about you guys, Rusty? Any superhero updates for us? Did we decide who Siddle was?
Oh no, did we? I don't think we
Between
did.
Doctor Strange and fuck, who else? I don't remember.
Dr. Fate from DC.
Constantine,
yes,
maybe?
so.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not. He's not saucy enough to be Constantine.
All right. All right.
I mean, Constantine's could be a bit of a dick. I mean.
Oh, for sure. Like if you're going by the comic one, yeah. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, he's a bit of a womanizer. Especially with Zartana.
I wonder if we have any womanizers in the group.
Oh, geez, I don't know if we have any of those. Or
I think that the womanizer bit kind of tosses Siddle out because I kind of try to play him as more of a, just whatever, leave me alone. I need to figure out.
You definitely do. Like I remember one time we were sitting around the camp and Warwick tried to talk to him and you were just like, leave me alone. You just brushed him off and it was like, oh, okay.
So I know there's a character in my mind that I can picture that I can't quite put my finger on that is similar. The brilliant call him the scientist, the nerd, the educated one that is a bit more isolated, a bit more standoffish, kind of that brush away, a little curmudgeon-y, and I can't put my finger on it, so I'm gonna have to dwell on this one a little longer.
Curmudgeon-y, I like that. That is a good way. He is a little curmudgeon-y. He's a little
curmudgeon-y, not?
Yeah, for sure.
Just in a dismissive way. He just he has other things on his mind, other things to do.
Agreed.
Dismissively curmudgeon-y.
Dismissively curmudgeon-y. If you think of a hero that is dismissively curmudgeon-y, let us know. All right, with that, gentlemen, I think it's time. You know what time it is, right?
I hope I know what time it is.
Magic item of the week. We got to get a sound there. I'm pretty sure. I'm not doing the do anymore.
I'm waiting for you to have this queued up at any point.
That reminds me, Eric, you were playing down at the point on the 4th. How'd it go? I hate to separate the magic item of the week, but how did it go?
Oh, dude, it was.
It sounds amazing.
The suspense is killing me.
The suspense is
killing me. Crowd. We had a nice little backdrop for us. Are you hearing me, by the way?
Now we are fake.
No, every time you said it was, you cut out.
The fuck.
Oh,
Oh,
It's
All
man.
right, now I'm on pins and
All
needles.
right, hold on.
I gotta know.
Discord knows what he's saying, and they're like, "Watch this,
Well,
guys."
you know what? Come back to me in like 5 minutes.
All right, let's
Wow,
jump in.
What a build-up.
Try it again. Try it again. You're moving on my screen now. I bet it's gonna work.
The man knows how to play to the
So
crowd.
no, it was yeah, really. It was really good. We had a good time. We sounded pretty good.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was good. It was awesome.
All right.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Going down again. Come on.
I look forward to hearing more about this, but let's jump into the magic items of the week. So we talked a little bit beforehand. I think we start off with Althea's new pair of shiny gloves she got. I wish Ashley were here to tell us about them. In her absence, would you like to take it for us there, G?
Sure. I don't have them in front of me, but from my recollection, the gloves of thievery, increasing that sleight of hand by a whopping 5 points, which is pretty significant, making her pretty thieving. And I'm sure Reed's kicking himself for not being there in session and having that one. I think he would make ample use of it.
I think that's just the way it works. Like, if you're not there, Ryan, you just don't get the item, right?
I could see a potential trade in the future at some point.
Or he's going to try and steal them from her.
That would be impressive.
I was gonna say that'd be some ironic shit right there.
Yeah, for sure. So the gloves of thievery, we just got them from that honeypot we just hit. We got some extra spells and stuff, some spell scrolls that Siddle and Warwick were able to put into their spell books, and I guess I feel like I cannot bring this up, G, since you brought it up to our attention. Tell us about what you started to tell us at the beginning of the session that we could have used in our Oni fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming back to your successful shopping exchange with Mythos over in Yartar, we didn't get to talk about this last week with Warwick's other items, but on his person, as you ventured out into the woods, a shiny new lantern of revealing, which from my recollection, I don't have the exact details in front of me, with a pint of oil will burn for up to 6 hours, I recall, and will within a 60-foot space illuminate any invisible creatures. So I'm not sure if you ran across any of those recently that you may or may not have struggled with seeing, difficult finding. A lantern of revealing probably would have been pretty useful for a battle in such circumstances, but it worked very well as a paperweight on the backpack.
So what is the radius of this lantern? Like, how far out does it reveal?
Pretty sure it was 60 feet.
Yeah, okay. And do you have to attune to it, or is it one of those things just if it's around, you know what I mean?
Well, that's a great question. I don't think it requires attunement because I think it's available to all. I think it is an action to light or an action to close the baffles to eliminate the distance the light carries. You can dim it, but that's it. So no attunement should be necessary.
Yeah, no attunement.
So between Fairy Fire and the lantern, there's no way we should have trouble with invisibility anymore, is what you're trying to tell us.
That's what I'm saying, unless Warwick goes down.
So, another quick question: does it only reveal the person who is using the lantern, or is it like those shows you see on TV where they like take a black light into a hotel room and the remnant of everything everywhere?
That's a good question, because what if the lantern was like at the campsite and we just lit it, you know what I mean, and nobody was holding on to it, but it was there?
Yeah, no, I think it works for everybody in the radius. So
it does, and that's why it doesn't require attunement. It's not like you need those special glasses for the UV light,
right?
To adjust for it. It's everyone will see it. So you can basically light it and set it down in the middle of battle, sort of thing.
So you take your turn
30.
to light it? Your
One
action?
action to close the, for lack of a better word, baffles. I know it's not the word for it, or open them to dim the light or expand it again.
Yep.
Okay. Good to know for future fights. And then Warwick also has his Saturn.
Yeah, I was gonna shoot the clip over to everybody. A little poke.
I think you should do it. Just poke us into the chat there, and I I I was I can't remember who I was talking to, but it's kind of like doing things in real life. Like you can talk about them, you can theory craft, you can do all this, but until you actually do it and mess up, you're
Yeah.
not going to fully remember it. But then once you do it and mess up, that experience, like it does something and actually has an impact on you to where next time you remember it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
woodworking or any craft like that. Like you mess it up and you're like, crap, this was going to be for so and so, and now I have to like figure out how I'm going to fix it. And then next time you go to do it, you don't make that same mistake.
Right.
Yeah, I can foresee the group carrying around barrels of oil moving forward. Never letting that thing die.
Oh, that's definitely going in the bag of holding.
It's gonna be like the Olympic torch. It's always lit.
My immediate thought was maybe it could assist us with this dream creature. Because we have not figured out how this creature has come into contact with us, and the only thing I can think of is it's either someone we know and has been able to get close to us, or it's something that can turn invisible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my thought was, crap, is Urgla a night hag? But I know G wouldn't do that to me. G wouldn't do that to Amrook,
Shit.
Maybe.
Well, so Amrook may have had his suspicions, and there's a reason she has a ring on her. That's all I can say.
Okay. Okay.
Because we can always do find object, we can scry,
Yep.
that type of stuff.
Yep.
If it comes to that point. Now,
Yep.
you never want to believe it, but I felt the same way about Lynene, so we'll see. You just don't trust women in D&D. That's all there is to
it. Oh, that's gonna hurt her to the core if she ever finds out. Your relationship is based on trust, Amrook.
Is it though? I mean,
well, she hasn't wanted anything yet, and you heard Mythos. You can never trust women when they want something. The problem is they always want something.
that is a straight up Mythos quote there. All right, we got one more item to do, and then we'll wrap it up. So his Saturn, I think it's a Saturn, right?
Yep.
Do you know what it's called? I forget.
Is that Odun or is that Warwick?
I think Warwick has the.
Warwick has the Saturn. Odun has one of the other instruments of the bard that I'm blanking on at the moment.
Dulcimer?
It might be the Dulcimer.
I apparently don't know how to spell Saturn, so.
Like Cittern.
Yeah.
You search instrument of the bard as well. That's the easiest.
Instrument of the bard. What was it called? What'd you say?
So Warwick has I believe the Saturn, and there's what, 4 or 6 instruments of the bard. The Saturn being one of them.
I didn't realize.
And Odun has a different one.
Okay. And this allows him to cast. So he plays it and he casts one of 4 things, and once you cast it, you cannot do it again until long rest. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right. So it basically gives you 4 more spell slots, 3 or 4 more spell slots.
Right, and
for
that
one
would
use.
be fly, invisibility, levitate, and protection from good and evil.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
That sounds about right, right?
Yep. And remind me, what are the other instruments of the bards?
We have
I
the
don't know. I just looked up
the Anstreth harp, the Caneth mandolin, the Sly lyre, the Doss lute, the Fullican
Yes.
Bandor.
Bandor. That's the one that Odun has.
Okay. And the Macferneth Cittern and the Olam harp.
Yeah, I really know them. I just wanted you to have to pronounce them.
The Doss lute go back. The Doss lute was that's been around for a while. I remember that from second edition, I think.
So since he has the Cittern, then he gets those an additional 3 Barkskin, Cure Wounds, and Fog Cloud that he can cast from it. That's the way I'm taking it. Yeah. Okay. So he actually it gives him the opportunity to cast 7 different spells, but once he casts them, once the instrument has been used to cast a spell, it can't be used to cast that spell again until the next dawn.
Yeah, and really, I'd forgotten about it for when I'm playing Odun this past 2 weeks ago, and so that was really my mistake. I missed out on a lot of opportunity there as Odun.
Well, I mean,
I probably would have done that instead of the Crown of Madness, and I think there was another move that I struggled with. I probably could have pulled 2 good spells from that. I mean, it's okay. Didn't get you guys killed or anything, but I was kicking myself after the session remembering it.
Well, that would be part of not having Odun there, I guess, right? Same thing as Raid not getting those gloves.
That's it.
So. Well, one of the spells is Fairy Fire.
Oh man. Well, I probably wouldn't have cast that. It would have gave disadvantage to some of my my companions.
So were you just sitting there like, what are you clowns doing? When we didn't use the lantern?
Yeah, pretty much. I like to think that you guys were all sitting around the fire that night, like, hey, what was that lantern you bought again? Oh, it reveals invisible creature.
No.
I think it'll definitely come up, but I think that can be fit into the tactics that we just talked about. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that the one of the earlier turn people might even use their action to claim. You know what I mean? To like say, listen, get out the lantern. Or, like I had talked about, attack the front line, or go for the wizard, or whatever that might be. Those early people in the turn order might use part of their stuff. I mean, they can use 4 words without using their action, so it's flexible, but might be slash the axe and get out the lantern. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I'm excited to see how these new maneuvers work out. It's exciting.
I don't know if I'd call them maneuvers yet. This is more of a declaration of, focusing, in my opinion, because it's one of those things that, and I think we talked about this previously. If you have 6 giants you're facing and everybody spreads out their damage with D&D, like at the end of it, those 6 giants are still doing full damage, as opposed to if you focus on 3 of those and now you only have 3 giants doing full damage.
Right.
So it's just one of those, we need to focus fire more to make the battle progress a little easier for us instead of spreading everything out.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm just from the outside looking in. I'm very excited about this. It's either going to be a glorious success or beautiful disaster.
Maybe a little bit of both. Let's be honest. There's a reason we're called Chaos Chamber, right?
It's going to be a lot of chiefs, very few Indians here. Everyone yelling out commands on their turn, no damage being done.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like it's that because I feel like we, at least character-wise, I feel like we don't have too many chiefs. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, maybe personality-wise, outside of the game, we have too many chiefs. But I feel like in-game, character-wise...
In battle, I definitely don't.
Agreed. I think
maybe not.
I think most of the chaos is that lack of focus, and some people like thinking in their head, oh crap, I gotta go do this, and then they pull off, which just like shifts everything. And if we didn't have that and we had the focus, it might go a little differently.
True, and it may just be a communication issue in the end. A repeat of find hook. What the hell does that mean? And so you guys are trying to interpret on your turn what the hell the command was supposed to mean.
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out the same as you were trying to figure it out for the Hill Giant. Like, what's going on? Throw fireball at him. I don't know.
So I can certainly see a series of repeat incidents moving forward until you guys get to have the hang of it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I do look forward to it.
Yeah, I do as well. And then when we're ready to take on the dragon with that focus, I'm excited.
You guys heading north? You going towards Klaus or Klaus? Yeah.
Yeah, Clouth.
Yeah,
you know what?
sure.
I don't know if we're ready for Clouth. I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking maybe start small. Start with like a black dragon. Or was that a green one?
Yeah, the green one. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those two as a warm up round. In a couple levels, or even maybe after we get the hang of our level 7s, I wouldn't be opposed to giving it a shot. I mean, at the end of the day, it is an adventure game, and if we don't take a risk here and there, are we just kind of like grinding? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
So be ready, Garrett.
That's all right. You guys keep grinding, and the world is ending around you, and the Von and Dot is one step closer while you guys are avoiding dragons. Well, I'm okay with it.
If you would quit putting shiny objects in front of certain people, we would be able to get farther.
Where's the fun if I don't dangle those shiny objects?
Oh, here's a full suit of armor if you go do this for me. What the fuck? 2 months ago we were supposed to be in Yartar. What the hell?
I know. I think for about 10 sessions now, we said, okay, we're going to go find the Weevil. Okay, we're going to go find the Weevil. Okay, we're going to go find the Weevil. No, we keep.
That's just a meme at this point, I think.
It's true.
But I gotta jump off for a quick work meeting.
So. Yep.
We're gonna call it there. Thanks everybody for watching, and we're gonna be on some point this week.
Good session.
Yeah.